practice for 2 weeks, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of spiritual work, internal work, and it's a lot of effort. Not just in your body, not just physically, but it's a lot of spiritual, emotional effort as well. So think that in the next 2 weeks you're going to generate a lot of energy, right? You're going to work a lot. So who do you want to dedicate this energy to? Just think about someone you love. And then you can also, like, apart from someone that you love, you can also think about more in general terms of like humanity. Like, what would you like for humanity or the earth? I dedicate this for more connection with earth energy, or I dedicate this to world peace, more understanding. Okay, then we're going to leave that for now, and we're just going to do some pranayama. So we're going to use it again shortly, but you just don't hide it. Make sure it's somewhere where you can easily find it. Keep it, just fold it up and put it to the side. And then we'll do some pranayama. Pranayama is more than breathing techniques. It's more than breath work. It's really moving the energy through your body. Prana means energy. Pranayama is moving the energy around your body through the breath. And it's also a way for us to manage our nervous system. When we move our breath, we are able to affect the nervous system. So there are breath techniques that make you relaxed. There are breath techniques that make you hyper as well. More often than not in yoga, we use the breath techniques that help us more relaxed, to become more relaxed, affecting our nervous system in that way. As it affects our nervous system, it also affects our mind. So you can be, as many of you know, even without meditation practice. Meditation is different from breathing practice. It's very similar, but it's actually a whole other concept altogether. But when we breathe, we can also affect the mind. We can make the mind more calm. We can make the mind more pointed. We can make the mind more peaceful. Okay, so let's start with the very basic breath, which is just the belly breathing. So putting your hands around your belly area, your navel area. You can just relax your shoulders and arms. And without doing any special breathing right now, just feel the tiny little movements in your belly, of the belly area. Now, sometimes there is no movement there because some people can be chronically anxious or stressed, and what happens is they sort of contract and lock their abdomen, and they are only breathing from the chest. So if you're like that, just be conscious about relaxing your navel area, your belly area. Imagine you've just had a big meal. Now, of course, the air goes in the lungs. It's not going in your belly or your stomach. The air is going in your lungs. But it's the diaphragm, which is the muscle under the lungs, that's moving it, moving the lungs. And so that's what you feel. But without thinking about anatomy, you're just feeling your belly rise and fall. Notice at which point the belly rises. Is it on the inhale? Is it on the exhale? And at which point the belly falls. Okay, so is it, so you can tell me now the answer. Is it, on the inhale, what is the belly doing? Is it contracting or expanding? Okay, very good. Some people actually do the opposite, but if your belly is relaxed, your belly should expand as you inhale and constrict again, retract as you exhale. And then start to make that movement more pronounced. So right now it's just happening on its own. Now you're going to guide it. You're going to lengthen it and make it stronger and push it. So on the inhale, consciously push your belly out. And on the exhale, consciously pull the belly in. So that will help your diaphragm. And what happens is, consequently, you start to create more space in the lungs. So you inhale, expand the belly consciously. Exhale, pull the belly in. You feel that? Feel it? Yes? Okay. Put your fingers now and try to feel your ribs. Try to feel it, not here, up here. Your ribs up here, more up here. Okay? You want to try and feel in between the ribs. Okay? Now your rib cage is protecting your lungs. Your lungs are inside of there. So we want to make more space here as well. So now as you inhale, you expand the belly. And then you open your chest as well. Just imagine you're making your chest big. That should open up you're using your intercostal muscles, or the muscles between your rib cage, to make the rib cage expand. It's a very subtle movement. And then on the exhale, you relax. Contract the chest and belly. Okay, so do that for a few breaths. If somebody had their hands on your back, they should actually also feel your chest from the back expanding and contracting as well with this breath. So just because you are now trying to locate the expansion in your rib cage doesn't mean you let go of the belly movement, okay? So always the belly is expanding, even when you do deeper pranayama. Otherwise the breath technique or the pranayama will not be effective. So always expanding the belly as well as you inhale, and contracting the belly as you exhale. And feel all of that working. As you inhale, expand the chest and the belly. And as you exhale, relaxation or contraction of the chest and pulling the belly in. And put your hands here now on your chest by your collarbones, clavicles. collarbones. And then as you inhale, same thing. Expand your belly, chest, and feel your collarbones rise slightly. And as you exhale, let that all drop down and pull your belly in. And by now you're getting better and better at this. Your breath is probably getting longer and longer. The apex of your lungs is located somewhere there in the collarbones. Huge thing, your lungs. Now, as you are doing that, check on how you are feeling. Because by now, maybe it's changed a little bit. Maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed, sleepy. Just tune into what you are feeling. Good. Okay, so now lie down on your back. You can bend your knees and then lie down like that. If it's more comfortable for you to extend your legs, fine as well. It just depends on the arch of your lumbar spine. For some people, when they have their legs straight, it creates too big of a curve on the lumbar spine if they have a deep lumbar spine to begin with. So see what happens if you bend your knees. The other option is to put a rolled up mat under the knees. For some people, it doesn't matter which way. So if you have your knees bent, you can drop the knees together. It will give you not the knees, not the feet. Écartez les pieds et mettez les genoux ensemble. Yes. So then that would be more relaxed. Okay, so now in this position, you're not using any of your abdominal muscles or your back muscles to keep you upright in the seated position. So you're even more relaxed. And you should really be able to notice and feel your belly rising. It's more obvious, right, in this position. Rising as you inhale. And releasing as you exhale. Or relaxing as you exhale. And then expanding from the belly. On your inhale, really push your belly out like you want to touch your belly button to the sky. Make your belly big. And when you exhale, contract your abdominals so that you imagine you want to pull your belly button into the floor. If it's making you dizzy or you're not comfortable with it, just go with what is in your capacity, in your limit, but work with it. And then inhale, now expand your belly, chest, and shoulders. Exhaling, shoulders, chest, and belly pulls in. That's the full yogic breath. Inhaling, belly expands, chest expands, shoulders pull up. Exhaling, shoulders down, chest down, belly down. Okay, at your own pace. Following your breath to its fullest capacity, the longest possible inhale, the longest, fullest possible exhale. Good. Now just relax your breath. Natural breathing. See now how you have opened up your natural breath a little bit more, that the natural breath feels more full after that exercise. So even without forcing, there's more space, more energetic space. It might have also created some spaciousness in the mind for peacefulness to come in. Okay, so let's try something. I'm going to chant Om. And as I chant Om, try to follow it with your inhale and follow it with your exhale. So I'll chant Om for the inhale and then Om for the exhale. So at the start of the Om, that's when you want to start your breath, and then you try to reach until the end of the Om or even longer, and then another Om for the exhale. Okay? If it's not working, you can use the space between the Oms. And just back to natural breathing, natural breath. Okay, you can give yourself a stretch if you need to. Mind the cup that you don't kick it. Stretch out a little bit if you need to, and then just gently, slowly find your way to a seated posture. Okay, so it's really important to stay comfortable in your seated pose when we meditate, when we do pranayama, because we don't want to be focused on pain here, pain there. We want to be focused more on on the breath and on the mind. So feel free to take a cushion if you need to put under your hips. For you as yoga teachers, when you see your students doing this, okay, so it could mean many things. It could mean obviously a lot of tightness in the hip area. So that's also pulling the lumbar spine. So they're rounding out like this. So when you put a cushion, or if you don't have a cushion, you can put a block, right? Under the hips. And what the cushion or the block does, why it works, is because then now it opens up this angle, opens up that angle. Instead of being a 90-degree angle, you've just increased the angle. Okay, so that's how it helps. Okay, you can also sit this way in Vajrasana position. It helps also keep the spine straight. You're using, because what happens is the leg sort of pulls the lumbar spine straight. If it's not comfortable for the ankles, you can put the block between your ankles like that. So that's one option. In the old books, in the scriptures, they will say half lotus or full lotus, which is, but you need to be careful of the lotus pose. Don't force your students to do a lotus pose, especially when you see that the knees are up here, because if you look at if we analyze the leg for a moment, you try to hold your thigh like this. Go ahead and hold your thigh like this. And then try to move from the knee. Okay, so this is movement from the hip. That's a lot of movement. And this is movement from the ankle, right? But just try to move without moving without moving any part of the thigh. Just move this part. And try not to move from the hip as well. And there's actually not much movement. Sometimes it's more the foot that moves. So there's not much movement, because the way that the ligaments here and the way that this joint is structured is that there are many ligaments that keep it strong, right? At the same time giving it flexibility, because you're a walking person, you need to walk. And the movement here is more here, rather than left and right. It wasn't made to do left and right. Okay, so here. Okay, so if the person is here and you're asking them to put their foot on the thigh, the problem is what sometimes happens is this movement is coming from the knee, which is the problem. So then it will start to hurt the knee. So what you want to do is have the students sit down. You can try to check if their hips are open, so that if they are ready to do full lotus, there's not much going on in the knee at all. It's all coming from the hip. But again, I have to reiterate that you don't need to do full lotus. There are other options, so we don't need to force ourselves into a pretzel. But what is interesting is that if you look at a person's lower back, okay, so if I'm just relaxed, my lower back is like this. If I do full lotus, I don't do anything with my lower back. You see how it starts to arch? And I'm still not like arching it with my muscles. It's just that the weight of my legs is now pulling this and supporting it to the full lotus. So that's like one advantage of it. So having said that, sit in the way that's comfortable for you. Sit how you want to sit. The most important thing about pranayama and the pranayama and meditation posture is that your spine is straight, because there's a lot of things going on in your spine energetically. Your kundalini channel is there, your Ida Pingala channels are there, your Shushumna is there, your physical spine is there, spinal cord is there as well. So a lot of things that's happening energetically is things that are happening energetically is reflected in your physical, and vice versa. Your physical is also reflected in your energy system. It's they're mirrors of each other. They work together. Okay, so our spine is straight. Let's do the Anulom Vilom Pranayama. It has a long name in Sanskrit. All it means is you're breathing alternately, alternative nostril breathing. So there's two ways to use the hands. One is to bring this, anybody here gaucher, left-handed? I'm going to show my right hand, and then you can change to your left if you want. Okay. So you bring your second and third fingers in. You use the thumb, and then don't keep them extended, just relax them. You use your thumb to close the right nostril, to close the right nostril. Then you release that, and you use the ring finger to close the left nostril. Okay, because we are going to breathe one to the other. Don't make a big movement like this, just tiny, tiny movements. Because any big movement that you do will disturb your concentration. The other way so that's one way to use the hands. The other way is to take the index and the tall finger, put it around the third eye area, middle of your forehead, and then the same. So close the right nostril with your thumb. Alternatively, you close the left nostril with your ring finger. Got that? Anybody confused yet? I can continue? Okay, so close your right nostril and breathe in through the left. Close the left and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Close the right and exhale left. That's one round. Inhale left. Close the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close the right. Exhale left. Continue at your own pace. So you have these channels of energy that run along your spine, a left channel and a right channel. They are actually spiraling around a central channel called the Sushumna. And the practice of the asanas and the breathing is to actually, or one of the practices is to untwist those channels and then make them straight. So do the last round. This is also balancing the right and left channel. So you end with the left nostril, because normally it's the left channel that is less active. And then you can release your hands. Let's practice the meditation mudra. So just place your right hand on top of the left and gently touch the thumbs together. This helps bring the concentration in. Helps you connect with your dantian as well, your navel area. Think of your navel area as the second chakra, but not just the second chakra, also a larger energy center than just the second chakra. And it's the center of your emotion, your groundedness with earth. It's also activating a little bit your first chakra for safety and security. Now it's just checking in that you have your spine straight. And then now you bring your chin down and push your head back slightly. We will do the Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. So imagine that you are closing your throat halfway. There's a little device there called the glottis, glottis. It's like the flap that opens and closes when you're about to swallow. And one way closing the windpipe, the other way closing the esophagus. So very simply, just imagine that you're about to swallow. Or if that's still strange, just bring your chin down and in slightly. And as you breathe in, feel that the air is coming in more slowly, because now your throat is constricted lightly. There's a slight constriction in the throat, and you are drawing or sipping the air in instead of like gulping it in. So this notion of the breath coming in very slowly. Same way as it goes out, the air goes out very slowly as well. Make sure your chin is down and your head is in. It's just easier that way. You should be making a sound that is loud enough so you can hear it, or maybe even loud enough that the person beside you can hear it. And the sound is both on the inhale and on the exhale. Keep going. So this is the Ujjayi Pranayama. We also use this during asana practice, especially in dynamic classes, vinyasa, ashtanga vinyasa. Don't forget that your belly is still expanding as you inhale and belly falling as you exhale. Remember, that's the basis, right? And follow the breath the whole way. So the beginning, the middle, and the end of the inhale. Beginning, middle, and the end of the exhale. Don't rush. Follow the full extent of the breath. Jusqu'au bout. And keep going and feel that as you are doing that, more and more layers of energetic stuff that you don't need is just falling away from you. You know, imagine that you have lots of like stuck bits of energy from the places that you've been, from people that you've encountered. So like they're hanging out in your etheric body. And feel that this breath is just cleansing all of that, you know, cleansing this whole etheric body. Let's go back to natural breathing. As you're breathing naturally, notice, bring your attention to your third eye chakra. So in the middle of at the middle of the forehead. So feel that you have light there at your third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is lighting up. And it's like an antenna, it's like a beacon that's receiving energy, receiving information from your guides, from the keepers of yoga. Think of it as receiving blessings from guardians, angels. Benevolent, loving beings. And then feel your heart chakra also start to open up. So middle of your chest, deep within. Feel something in your heart starts to open up. It starts as a wish, a dedication, and like a flower, it opens up like a crack of light, opening up with hope. And as your heart opens up, your heart chakra opens up, you are sending your desire, your wish, your intention for your life, but also for the yoga practice, out into the universe. But don't think of the universe as just this great big concept that's very impersonal. Think of the heart opening up with this wish, but opening up to the universe that's taking care of you. Like a divine father. We have a divine mother and we have a divine father. Bring your attention back to your heart, back to here and now. Slowly open your eyes, find your paper, find your piece of paper where it's written what others think about me, what I think about myself, what else, what are my fears, what are my wishes. And then I'd like you to fold that all up and then put it in the fire at the center to represent starting anew. And it's like we are, no, you're not writing anything, you've written stuff already. So it's representing starting something new, and we are destroying all of the old concepts that we have, both of like what other people think about us, what we think of ourselves, what we think about yoga, how we feel about yoga, things that have happened in the past. Our letting go of our story is also very important. It's okay. It will go. Now it's going. You can drop it. Next, you can meditate, and then when you finish, you just meditate. So we're using that element of fire to destroy, but also create something new. In Hinduism, Shiva is the Lord of Yoga, and Shiva represents destruction, because it's destroying our illusions, destroying our old concepts, and destroying our ego, a sense of me that is separate from the world, separate from divine energy. It's or me as a separate soul even. So it's destroying all concepts like that. So you can gaze into the fire, or you can close your eyes to sit and meditate. You can lie down if you want. Feel your cells, all the cells in your body, start to resonate with the sound of the drum. Like something inside of you is arising, recognizing that sound, that primordial sound, and somehow calling you back and connecting you to your true self. Having destroyed concepts of what other people think about us, what we think of ourselves, what we think about the world, all of this conditioning, releasing that into the universe, letting the drum remind us of who we really are. a body, but I am not my body. I have thoughts, but I am not my thoughts. I have emotions, but I am not my emotions. Feel the movement of light inside you and all around you, calling you back to your true nature. Be aware of and call on your guides to help you in your journey to remember the true self. Okay, we'll take a little break, stretch out, and drink some tea. 5 minutes, maybe get some fresh air. Make it 10 minutes. Make it 10 minutes, and then we'll come back here. So back at 11:50. That's fine. Thank you. Oh, the sun's out. But I think it's wet. De 17h?
Ouais.
Yes.
Ok. Tu as une trame que tu veux que je fasse particulièrement ou je fais une trame de hatha